And now, the Android Basics segment. This is a segment where we discuss the things that power your device from behind the scenes. And now, here's this week's episode, Android Basics. Let's now turn on to our Android Basics segment. And this week, we're talking about the email clients in 2025, thus the state of email clients in 2025. I know the email clients are one of those things that people like to talk about. You know, what do you use and how does this thing work? So today we're going to be talking about some of those things that we like and some that we don't. So, John, let's start with you. I think you're like me. You basically use Gmail, right? I mean, unlike me though, I have lots of other clients that I try now and then. Do you mainly use Gmail or use Aquamail? You use what's that other one? Fair Email, Blue Mail, Spark, etc., etc. Which one is your default, John?
It is definitely Gmail, and it's sad because I'm always complaining about Gmail, right? But I mean, it's always my go-to. I do try, Blue Mail, Aquamail. I've even tried a couple of apps that are like supposed to make email threads look like chats. They're supposed to like automatically cut out all of the text other than what the person said and like make it look like a conversation, but they're not the most accessible. A lot of things are unlabeled. So, I mean, I am still looking for one that I enjoy using. I don't enjoy Gmail, but that's what I use. It's good at managing, if you just want to delete some things or archive some things, it's really quick to do it that way. The only thing that's a little quirky is when you long press something. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if you want to select multiple items, you have to long press every item rather than just putting it in a selection mode and then selecting different items. But my workaround for that is my 3-finger tap instead of bringing up the talkback menu. That is a long press for me, so I don't actually have to long press. So it's not a big deal for me. But yeah, that's what I use to manage things. And then I've mentioned it before, but I don't type in Gmail. I type my messages elsewhere. I usually use like a text editor of some sort. Then I just copy and paste and send, because while you can type in Gmail, if you want to change anything, like if you try to do proofreading with TalkBack, it won't work. Like it'll find the misspellings, but then when you go to replace it, it doesn't do anything. And if you want to edit, it'll say the cursor is in a spot where it's not, and you'll start typing, and it just completely ruins your message. So yeah, do not edit in Gmail in its current state. But yeah, I do like reading emails and managing emails from it.
Last night, I was taking something called the Email Lite. So Email space LITE. I think, John, you might like it. It's a very simplistic email. And frankly, I want you to take a look at it, see if it's something you may want to use. And I want to kind of demonstrate it here, live, show you guys. I installed it last night just before I went to bed.
Email Lite.
So there's Email Lite, and let's see.
Email Lite. Search mail. Search mail
So
out of pager.
the whole idea is that you can manage all your different accounts from different email accounts that you have, whether it's Outlook, Gmail, Yahoo, all those email clients and all of that. And everything is on your device. So you're not sending anything to them, but you're using it as basically like a hub for your messages or email clients or whatever. And there's not much to it. You don't have settings. I can't even find settings. I'll be looking at those today, see if I could find any settings. However, I didn't see any because I was a little bit sleepy when I was doing that last night. But so at the bottom here, at the bottom you have that big
On compose.
You know, there's
Button out of list.
a huge compose button on the bottom right there. And I noticed that the composition is very good. It's not bad at all. You know, like Gmail you are talking about, John. It's very easy to use, and the edit field doesn't jump around like you have in Gmail. So I want you to try it, see if you like it. And that's all you have. And then at the top, on the top right, all you have, and that's not labeled, it says your name or
Okay, in out of list.
yeah, so right there, you know,
Select an account. Warren Carr.
so
Warcare at Gmail. Add an account.
and then
Out of list.
you know, below that you can add another account, but I don't see any settings. The one thing that
Email.
I don't like, sometimes
Detected text W. W.
yeah, so see where it says there on the top says detected text W. I'm doing this on my Galaxy S23, so it's just saying like my username. That's all you have there. And if you go right,
Search mail. Search mail.
you have the search, and if I go down,
AD.
there's the ad, and I don't find a way to remove the ad, and it's so below the ad.
Key3dviagroups.io.
So see this,
839 contact picture button.
and then to the right of
Detected
it,
text K.
and
Doug Davis. 8AD. Find weird facts with Copilot. Discover weird facts with Microsoft
so,
Copilot.
yeah, so
Conversation.
the only one thing I don't like about it is that, you know, the ads, and I wish I was looking to see if there's a way I could say, you know, hey, I want to get rid of the ads. I haven't found one, but I'm going to go into the composition area to show you how
Compose.
easy it is.
Compose. Navigate up. Button. Warcare at gmail.com.
That's the from,
2.
and then
Edit box for 2.
if I move
Recipient expander button. Subject.
subject,
Edit box.
and then if you swipe right or you move your finger down,
Email text. Edit box.
and
Email text. English US QWERTY shown.
I'm
Capital
just gonna do
D,
just tap
S,
random
N,
keys, you know,
home. Spacebar. HDYSN.
and then if I go,
Comma.
This is just the state of Android. That we have to make sure when we type something, it actually says it. Like that's kind of sad. Like because with the whole keep notes thing, that seems to finally have been resolved.
they
Like,
finally fix it.
yeah.
So it does.
Edit box for 2.
So you see,
Subject. Editing. HDYSN.
so if I
Edit box. Email
if I
text.
go to,
Lines.
you know,
Words.
characters.
Character. Space. N. S. S. N.
So yeah,
M,
I
space,
think
N,
you might like
enter.
this.
Backspace.
You know,
N delete.
I
Backs-
just
S-
realized I'm
Y
using
D delete. H delete.
Samsung keyboard
Backspace.
instead of you know, Gboard. So yeah, this is
Email discovery.
the only problem I have against it is
ads.
the lack of the ability to, you know, remove the ads, and that's a little deal breaker there. But frankly, composition, this is excellent.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this last week when we were briefly talking about email clients. It's okay, you know, to have multiple clients. Like if there's one you want to use for composing, one you want to use for just going through your inbox, one you want to use for going through threads, like actual group threads. You know, some clients are better than others at specific things. And like the thing I love about Gmail, and you kind of, I noticed it while you were going through this inbox, is when you swipe, Gmail actually goes from one message to another. It's just one swipe to get to the next message. Whereas a lot of these email clients, it's like, it'll show you the picture for the thing. It'll have like a favorite button. It'll have like a selection button. Like sometimes you have to swipe 3 or 4 times just to get to the next
I
message.
don't like that. I don't like that. Yeah, so Gmail does well in that aspect. Not talking about whatever, but yeah, if someone likes this, I'm going to be playing with it. But my whole thing is that I want to get rid of the ads, because if I just don't want ads in my email client, you know what I mean? So that's the one little deal breaker in there. And I'm surprised though that it's accessible in the way of writing, typing. You don't have a problem there, and so if someone wants to use it, they could try it and see if it's something they like. Sally, what do you use, or which one do you prefer? Are you a Gmailer like John and I, or you go
Okay.
into the water?
I go different side of the water. I was a long time Aquamail user. Well, like back in the time when I first joined Android, it was like 2013. I purchased the Pro license from Aquamail, and for almost 10 years I used that one. And then they decided to change something within the app itself to do extra charge for those using the Pro version and those want to purchase the Pro version. They moved to the subscription model, and those who want to continue with the Pro version, they can do another purchase from them, like for $2 or $3, and then they can continue using without any subscription and stuff. So I took that offer, and then my friend Stephen from Stefan, or if I should say correctly, from Germany, he suggested an app called Fair Email. So I'm trying out Fair Email. It's an open source email app. It also supports actions, and the developer is super responsive if you have anything to add in terms of accessibility to the table. So he's doing a lot of work for accessibility. The app is super big for an email client. Like Aquamail had a lot of customizations and settings, but Fairmail is like 2 or 3 times more than Aquamail. Like you said, the email light is pretty compact and pretty easy, straightforward. It has no settings at all, and Fairmail and Aquamail, they have all of the settings. Like you can customize anything within the app, how it looks, how it's going to perform certain actions, in what time you're gonna get notifications. Is it going to be weekend or weekdays? Should you be getting emails on a delay, or should you be sending the emails on a delay, or at what time? There are a lot of customizations in those apps. That's what I like. And if you ask me, do you use any of them? I don't use them at all, but I like to have them.
I do have both. I think it was me who introduced Fairmail to our group some years ago, and I really liked it because it's like you said, it has a lot of settings, but it's very easy to set up.
Yeah.
The setup
It's
process.
super easy. The process is
Yeah.
very easy, and it like guides you throughout the process. What you need to do, what you should avoid doing, and why you need a Pro version, why you shouldn't use that. Something like VPN or something like that. It's always giving you good prompts to get the best of your email client.
Fairmail is an easy to use email.
It's
client.
fair enough to say that.
Yeah, and it does have settings, but the email light that I just mentioned is something that came in 2023, so it's not been here for too long, and I think it already has like 5 million or whatever. It's like I said, it's a hub for a lot of different clients. Then just like all of them do, really, in reality, all of them do that, and just like the Fairmail you're talking about. They don't collect anything of yours. The only thing that it has when you try to set it up, it asks, if you want to have notifications. And of course, you guys know me. I don't, I don't like push notifications. So I said, nah, I don't want that. So that's the only thing that I saw there. But there's no other
Here's
settings.
the thing, Warren. I mean, if you're using an email client, you want to be notified about your emails, right?
Yeah, no. If I
Like
want to check my email, I check it. Text messages, yes. I let my text messages send me notifications, but not an email. I'm not going to be bothered by email, checking, or,
Yeah.
oh, you got an email. Hell no.
What I did for Fair Email is that I turned off auto sync, so it only will show me the messages when I need them. So I open the app, and like swipe down with 2 fingers to refresh, and then
Yeah, and that's what I do.
it downloads the emails. Like I'm telling you why you don't enable notifications. I'm doing sort of the same.
Nice. Now that's a good boy because I just don't want that, constant. And that's why I turn off my sounds too, because I don't want that distraction. And what is it that I just heard? If I want to check what I have.
Warren, I noticed in your little demo there was a message from the email list in your inbox. Does this app not support like labels or folders, or do you not have a label or folder for that? Because if you just have like email list stuff coming to your inbox, it's no wonder you don't want notifications.
Yeah, exactly.
No, on my Gmail, I have labels, and so and on my computer I have folders as well. But it's just like this client, like I said, I haven't seen any settings as of yet, and I don't know if it supports trading or not. Frankly, I'll have to check that out. I think what I like about it is just the composition part. That's the part that blew me away. It's very nice. You wouldn't be missing your edit fields.
Well, definitely it looks promising, but if you're getting a large email inbox, that won't be helpful, I guess, because sometimes you need labels, roles, and all the things. Sometimes you need them going to specific folders. So that's going to be really simple in that case.
I'm thinking it might just follow what Gmail has, and just whatever. But because it's not. It's just using what your Gmail has. I'll have to play with it some and see what it is.
It needs to support those protocols in order to have those labels and rules in your email client.
Yeah.
Devin,
the Predator Boy, how about you? Which one do you prefer, or which one is your main email client?
Well, for now, I use Aquamail. And the reason why is because it's simple and it's what I have been using, and I can turn off the star selectors and the contact thingies, photos, and it's just one swipe per email. I can make the conversation expanded thing be like reverse order, so the oldest message to the newest one. And I don't have to open the message most times because I can just have the message snippet set to 4 or 5 lines, and that takes care of most emails. But I will try Fairmail, and hopefully if since the developer is responsive to accessibility issues, maybe I'll finally have a client that has the ability to, when I'm in a conversation, to go when I've opened the conversation, an email, to go from one email in the conversation to the next one, because that's the main thing that I miss from, well, iOS used to do it perfectly and now it doesn't, so that's great. But that's the one thing I miss from those days. But if it doesn't, that's fine. I mean, but it would be nice. So for now, I use Aquamail.
Yeah. So talking about what you were just talking about, the ability to, get most of the email without opening it. This email light, does the same thing. For example, I just open, I'll brought it up again and look at one of the messages here in our group.
Brian Vogel via groups.io. 8:16 a.m. Opening square bracket. Blind Android users, what email client on Galaxy S25? Both Brians were off in terms of the styling of the name of that alternate email app, Fair Email, free period. I skipped the E and he left a space between, and the developer doesn't. The Play Store link is above. _Brian degree mail.
I mean, so I didn't open the email, but at least I'm able to get the gist of what's going on. So I see what you're talking about, you know, because it's like Telegram or Unigram. You know, when I'm using Unigram, I could hear the snippets of it, or, you know, most of it, or if you configure it to give you how many lines or whatever, so you don't need to open the email. So yeah, it does help that way.
So the thing that that I'm talking about more of is like, so on Gmail on the web, you've got all your conversations, and then you open one and it's got like 6 messages inside of it. And so you press the letter N in the standard view, and you go to the next message. And you press N again, you go to the next message, and it reads the whole thing. And so that's what I want from, you know, from an email client. Not just, you know, the snippet, but if it could read the whole thing, that'd be great. And I really think that Gmail should be doing that, since it's, you know, Google, and they make both the web version and the Android version, and they control the whole Android system. But there are third-party apps for a reason, and I would definitely lean into that.
Karen girl, how about you? I know you're probably a Gmailer, or you're also inside the water. I know Devin likes that water. He's living in a you know, area that has lots of water. Alabama has lots of water, right? Devin, you guys are there on the Gulf and all of that. So, and all the swamps and all that good stuff. Go out and do some gator hunting and all of that good stuff. So that's why you may like the water email. Karen, how about you?
Since I like winter, I like thunder, and I also like birds. So I'm for Thunderbird. However, it's not for my personal account. For my personal account, I just use Gmail. I have the same complaints that you already stated. Both Devon and John already talked about the issues. I like really Gmail to be able to give me a simpler way to move between messages, especially when we are talking about a thread that has several, like many messages, new messages, and I should deal with them. So this is a problem. Also, the text editing stuff that John already mentioned. So yeah, but I'm maybe too lazy to go for something else. To especially that Gmail already does most of the things right. For me, like I want to compose an email, or already I do like what John does actually, because I usually copy the message and paste it in the Gmail app. So I usually type the message elsewhere and then paste it in Gmail. So, but I sometimes just type quick replies, for example, and I try to be so much careful not to have mistakes. So I spend like 2 minutes writing an email and then 30 minutes correcting the email. So I try as much as I can to avoid having mistakes. But, you know, Gmail does other stuff like, I mean, it's Google. It should be like, it should make things better. But, you know, this is Google. At the end, they just leave some like things to make the experience incomplete. Unfortunately, because I needed to go for something else for the accessible Android account, because it's, if I try to connect it in Gmail directly, and you know, like Gmail's good thing is that also it supports other accounts, so it's also a great plus for Gmail because it's built-in anyway. So I went for Aqua, but Aqua is very limited, so much limited. I'm talking about the free version. So I finally went for the Thunderbird. It's now still in the beta state, I think. I'm not sure if it's out of beta, but it's doing, like, it's able to get things right. You can just make it one swipe or one message per swipe. So each swipe takes you one message, in the conversations list. And you can compose emails easily. It has few accessibility issues, but overall it's a good one. It works. And the good thing about it is that when I signed in with the Accessible Android account, and I was so happy back then. I was telling Saleh about the good thing that happened. When I tried to sign in using my Gmail, it was asking me to make a work profile and to have it. I hate this thing so much. But when I signed in with Thunderbird, I was able to see my account, or the Accessible Android account, in Gmail itself. So I'm able right now to check the email there and work there from Gmail. However, if I sign out from Thunderbird, or if I uninstall Thunderbird, it will no longer be in the Gmail. So for this reason, I'm keeping Thunderbird, and it's a good one. So it's good to follow its updates, especially that it's already an own email client. But I think that we should, like, Gmail, if Google wants to make Gmail more complete, it could be like the go-to solution, especially for those people who are like me, who want just few things in the email client that they are using. So, for example, one problem with Gmail, like previously, in the old days, it was possible to assign a notification tone for each label. So that was a good thing, to be able to know from which label the email is. But now, after, like, since maybe a few years ago, this has stopped. It's no longer possible to assign a notification tone for each label. You can assign one for each account, but not for each label. It's like, I hope that they will bring this back, because it was really better. And now we have notification categories, so there is nothing that could prevent this from being implemented. But yeah, it's the thing. It's Google.
Yeah, going back to what Sally was talking, I used to, I got that Aquamail, but then in 2014, I jumped onto Inbox, and I really loved Inbox. It was something I really enjoyed. Google did away with it, and Gmail becomes the de facto or default, whatever. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and liking all that Thunderbird, and so we got some nature going on in there. You got the bird, and Devon's got the water. It's a good combination. Thunder sometimes bring water as well, so I think you're in good hands using that Thunderbird email client. Anyone has anything else to talk about? I know I have. I've used other ones like SparkMail, TwoBird. Talking about the bird, Karen, I really like TwoBird. If it were accessible, I wrote to them, "Oh yeah, we'll pass it to our engineers," and all of that. Well, the engineers never showed up. I'm still waiting, and I'm waiting at that platform, waiting for the engineer to pull the train up. I'm still waiting. And then there was another one from some ex-Googlers. I think that thing was called a Wave. And I talked with the guy, and he was excited about accessibility, and they were going to do that. And they were on a vacation in Hawaii, and he's going to do that. I'm still waiting on the platform for the train that never shows up. Ships that don't sail.
So I just have one question. There's an app called, I think, Delta Chat. It tries to, include your chat stuff and emails. So I haven't tested it. I know that some people use it, but do you have any experience with this application?
I haven't tried it. I've seen it, but I haven't tried it. I've tried several, but not that one. And Spark is another one. There's Spark and then there's Spike. I tried both, and as always, it's usually some buttons are not labeled, and I haven't tried it now that we have the heavy lifting by TalkBack. Maybe it's something that one could use, but Spark was good as well. But the problem is then they want you to subscribe, all these models of subscription, either monthly, annual, and I just don't care about those type of things. And Edison Mail is another one. It's another good one, but I'm not a subscription type of guy. Pay this much money every month or every year. I just want a one-time payment. I don't mind the annual subscriptions, but sometimes they're just crazy. I don't see me paying $200, just to be able to use an email client.